This alternate timeline explores what would have happened if the Jedi Council had placed their full trust in Anakin Skywalker instead of doubting him. With their faith in him, events in the galaxy take a dramatically different turn. The chamber of the Jedi High Council was unusually silent. All eyes were on Anakin Skywalker. Master Mace Windu, with a solemn expression, stood and addressed the room. "Anakin Skywalker," he said, "by the will of the Council and the strength you have shown, we grant you the rank of Jedi Master." Anakin's eyes widened. He looked around the circle of Jedi Masters, searching for doubt or hidden meaning. But there was none. Master Yoda nodded slowly. "Deserved, this title is. Balanced, the Force remains." Anakin stepped forward, bowing with respect. "Thank you, Masters. I will not fail you." For the first time in many years, he felt peace within himself. He felt trusted. The pressure that had once twisted inside him, the feeling of being kept at arm's length, was gone. Obi-Wan Kenobi smiled gently from across the room. There was pride in his eyes. "Your journey has not been easy, Anakin," Obi-Wan said after the council meeting, "but you have earned this through strength, wisdom, and humility." Anakin looked to his former master. "I only wish to protect the Republic, and those I love." Obi-Wan placed a hand on his shoulder. "And now, with the Council's trust, you can." Later that night, Anakin sat beside Padmé Amidala in their apartment. The news of his promotion brought tears to her eyes. "You did it, Ani," she whispered. "They finally see who you truly are." Anakin held her hand tightly. "I feel different, Padmé. Like a weight has lifted. They believe in me. That means I don't have to hide anymore." Padmé leaned into him, comforted by his calm. For the first time in weeks, he didn't speak of fear or death. He spoke of hope. In the days that followed, the Jedi Council allowed Anakin into key meetings. He was briefed on the secrets of the war, the Sith threat, and even placed in charge of certain missions that only Masters could lead. He acted with honor and control. Palpatine, watching from his palace, sensed a shift. Anakin was slipping from his grasp. The seeds of trust had changed the Chosen One's destiny, and the galaxy was beginning to feel the ripple. With the Sith destroyed and the Jedi Order reformed, the galaxy finally begins to heal from years of war and corruption. Anakin Skywalker, now a fully recognized Jedi Master, plays a crucial role in reshaping the future. The Republic, once on the brink of collapse, is given a new chance at stability. Without the influence of Darth Sidious, the Senate is purged of corrupt officials, and Padmé Amidala leads efforts to restore democracy. The Jedi Council, no longer blinded by old traditions, embraces change and allows attachment, understanding that emotions can be a source of strength rather than weakness. Anakin, alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, ensures that the Jedi do not repeat the mistakes of the past. The Order no longer isolates itself from the people, instead working alongside the Republic to maintain peace. Jedi are encouraged to form bonds, and Anakin himself sets an example by openly acknowledging his marriage to Padmé. Luke and Leia, no longer hidden, grow up under the guidance of their father and the Jedi, destined to become great protectors of the galaxy. With the war over, the clone troopers are freed from their programmed servitude. Many choose to continue serving the Republic as peacekeepers, while others find new paths in civilian life. The scars of war remain, but without the tyranny of the Empire, hope spreads across countless worlds. Former separatist systems, once manipulated by Darth Sidious, are welcomed back into the Republic, ending decades of division. Trust between planets is slowly rebuilt, and new alliances are formed to prevent future conflicts. Obi-Wan, seeing the change in Anakin, finds peace in knowing that his former apprentice has truly fulfilled his destiny. Yoda, though weary from the past, embraces the new path the Jedi have taken, recognizing that true balance in the Force has finally been achieved. Anakin, no longer torn between conflicting loyalties, becomes the guardian he was always meant to be. As years pass, the Jedi Order flourishes, not as an institution of strict rules, but as a guiding force of wisdom and protection. The dark days of the Clone Wars become a distant memory, and under Anakin's leadership, the galaxy enters an era of lasting peace. Anakin Skywalker stood in the Jedi Council chamber, his heart pounding. This time, there was no hesitation, no distrust in the Master's eyes. They had granted him the rank of Jedi Master, an honor he had long sought. The frustration that once clouded his mind was gone, replaced by a sense of belonging. He was no longer an outsider within the Order. Vanished. The whispers of doubt that had driven him toward Chancellor Palpatine had vanished. With the Council's trust, Anakin had no reason to confide in Palpatine. The Sith Lord had always been there, offering guidance, stroking his ego, making him feel special when the Jedi would not. But now, Anakin felt no need to seek validation elsewhere. He was accepted. He was valued. The Chancellor's influence weakened before it could truly take hold. Instead of keeping secrets, Anakin approached Master Yoda and Master Obi-Wan Kenobi with his visions of Padmé Amidala's death. He feared their response, but they listened. Yoda, rather than giving vague warnings about attachment, guided him in meditation, teaching him how to see deeper into the Force. Obi-Wan, his closest friend, promised to help him find another pathone that did not lead to the dark side. The weight of secrecy lifted from Anakin's shoulders. He no longer feared losing Padmé in the same way he had lost his mother. Together, the Jedi sought alternative ways to protect her. Anakin, in turn, did not fall victim to Palpatine's manipulations. The Chancellor sensed the change. The hold he had carefully cultivated over the years was slipping. As the Jedi continued their investigation into Palpatine's power, Anakin was no longer caught between two loyalties. When the moment came, and Mace Windu moved to arrest the Chancellor, Anakin did not hesitate. He stood by Windu's side, lightsaber ignited, ready to fight alongside the Jedi instead of against them. Palpatine saw his plans unraveling. The Chosen One had not fallen for his lies. There would be no Darth Vader. There would be no Empire. The Sith Lord's carefully woven web of deception had collapsed. All because the Jedi had chosen to trust the one person who could truly bring balance to the Force. Anakin Skywalker stood in the Jedi Council chamber, his heart pounding. This time, there was no hesitation, no distrust in the Master's eyes. They had granted him the rank of Jedi Master, an honor he had long sought. The frustration that once clouded his mind was gone, replaced by a sense of belonging. He was no longer an outsider within the Order. The whispers of doubt that had driven him toward Chancellor Palpatine had vanished. With the Council's trust, Anakin had no reason to confide in Palpatine. The Sith Lord had always been there, offering guidance, stroking his ego, making him feel special when the Jedi would not. But now, Anakin felt no need to seek validation elsewhere. He was accepted. He was valued. The Chancellor's influence weakened before it could truly take hold. Instead of keeping secrets, Anakin approached Master Yoda and Master Obi-Wan Kenobi with his visions of Padmé Amidala's death. He feared their response, but they listened. Yoda, rather than giving vague warnings about attachment, guided him in meditation, teaching him how to see deeper into the Force. Obi-Wan, his closest friend, promised to help him find another pathone that did not lead to the dark side. The weight of secrecy lifted from Anakin's shoulders. He no longer feared losing Padmé in the same way he had lost his mother. Together, the Jedi sought alternative ways to protect her. Anakin, in turn, did not fall victim to Palpatine's manipulations. The Chancellor sensed the change. The hold he had carefully cultivated over the years was slipping. As the Jedi continued their investigation into Palpatine's power, Anakin was no longer caught between two loyalties. When the moment came, and Mace Windu moved to arrest the Chancellor, Anakin did not hesitate. He stood by Windu's side, lightsaber ignited, ready to fight alongside the Jedi instead of against them. Palpatine saw his plans unraveling. The Chosen One had not fallen for his lies. There would be no Darth Vader. There would be no Empire. The Sith Lord's carefully woven web of deception had collapsed. All because the Jedi had chosen to trust the one person who could truly bring balance to the Force. Mace Windu stood in the Jedi Council chamber, the weight of the galaxy pressing down on his shoulders. Anakin Skywalker stood before him, his expression torn between loyalty and fear. The revelation that Chancellor Palpatine was the Sith Lord they had been searching for changed everything. For a moment, Mace Windu studied Anakin. The boy he had once doubted had grown into a powerful Jedi. But more than that, he had proven himself time and time again on the battlefield. His strength in the Force was undeniable, and his insight into Palpatine's deception had led them to this moment. "You have proven your loyalty to the Jedi, Anakin," Mace Windu finally said. "If what you say is true, we must act immediately." Anakin stepped forward, his voice steady but desperate. "Let me come with you, Master Windu. I can help. Together, we can stop him." Mace Windu hesitated. The Jedi Code warned against attachments, and he knew Anakin's connection to Palpatine ran deep. But what if trusting Anakin was the key to victory? Pushing him away could drive him straight into the Chancellor's hands. Finally, Mace Windu nodded. "Very well, but you follow my lead." Anakin's relief was clear, and without another word, they gathered Jedi Masters Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Saesee Tiin before making their way to the Chancellor's office. Palpatine was waiting for them. He rose from his seat, his golden eyes gleaming with malice. "I take it this means you are here to betray me, Master Windu." Mace Windu ignited his lightsaber. "The Senate will decide your fate." Palpatine sneered. "I am the Senate." With blinding speed, he ignited his crimson blade and lunged forward. The room erupted into chaos as the Sith Lord struck down Agen Kolar and Saesee Tiin in a single motion. Kit Fisto barely deflected an attack before he too fell. Anakin and Mace Windu moved in unison, their blades clashing against Palpatine's relentless assault. The Sith Lord was faster than any opponent Anakin had faced, but together, he and Mace Windu held their ground. Palpatine aimed a deadly strike at Mace Windu's chest, but Anakin intercepted it, forcing the Sith Lord back. For the first time, Palpatine seemed uncertain. Mace Windu pressed forward, his blade battering against Palpatine's defenses. "Your reign ends here, Sith." Palpatine growled and unleashed a surge of Force lightning, but Anakin raised his saber, deflecting the energy. Mace Windu took the opportunity to strike, slashing through Palpatine's weapon and knocking him to the ground. The Sith Lord snarled, electricity crackling from his fingertips. "You need me, Anakin. The Jedi will never accept you." Anakin hesitated for only a second before stepping beside Mace Windu. "You're wrong." Mace Windu raised his lightsaber. With one final, decisive strike, he ended Darth Sidious, ensuring the Sith's rule was over. Anakin stood in the Jedi Council chambers, his heart pounding. Mace Windu had chosen to trust him, allowing him to accompany the Jedi to arrest Emperor Palpatine. No longer torn between loyalties, Anakin ignited his lightsaber alongside Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Saesee Tiin. The Sith Lord, Darth Sidious, smiled darkly, his yellow eyes gleaming as he ignited his crimson blade. The room exploded into chaos. With the Jedi Masters fighting in perfect coordination, Palpatine struggled. Kit Fisto parried a lightning-fast strike, while Mace Windu pressed the attack with his mastery of Vapad. Anakin, fueled by the Force, struck with precision, forcing Palpatine on the defensive. Without Anakin's betrayal, the Jedi held their ground, their combined strength overwhelming the Sith Lord. Palpatine snarled, unleashing a wave of Sith lightning. Anakin, standing firm, raised his lightsaber, absorbing the attack. The pain seared through him, but he refused to give in. Mace Windu seized the moment, slashing across Palpatine's wrist, disarming him. The Sith Lord fell to his knees, his face twisted in rage and fear. "You have lost," Mace Windu declared, his blade poised to strike. Palpatine's voice turned desperate, pleading for mercy, but there was no deception left to hide behind. Anakin hesitated for only a moment before nodding to Mace Windu. Mace Windu struck with a decisive slash. The Sith Lord's body collapsed onto the cold floor, his reign of terror ending in an instant. A ripple echoed through the Force of Sith were no more. Anakin felt a strange sense of peace wash over him. The dark presence that had haunted the galaxy for decades had been extinguished. The Jedi stood in silence, realizing what had been accomplished. The Republic was safe. The Jedi Order had survived. The Clone Wars would soon come to an end. Anakin looked at Mace Windu, who nodded in approval. The young Jedi Knight had not fallen to the darkness. He had remained true to the light. Far away, Darth Vader was never born. Instead, Anakin Skywalker stood as the guardian of peace and justice, fulfilling the prophecy as the chosen one, not by falling to the dark side, but by destroying it once and for all. The Jedi Council, recognizing the need for change, begins the process of reforming the Jedi Order. For centuries, the Jedi have followed strict traditions, believing that detachment and emotional suppression were necessary for maintaining balance in the Force. But with Anakin Skywalker now a Jedi Master and a key influence within the Council, these beliefs begin to shift. Master Yoda, though wary of change, acknowledges that the Jedi Code has remained stagnant for too long. He, along with Master Mace, Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and other senior Jedi, hold deep discussions about the future of the Order. Anakin argues that emotion itself is not dangerous only the way it is handled. Suppressing emotions, he explains, leads to fear, resentment, and secrecy. Instead of outright forbidding attachment, the Jedi must teach emotional control and responsibility. For the first time in Jedi history, a new perspective is embraced. Jedi are now allowed to form attachments, though they must learn to manage them with wisdom. The belief that love leads to darkness is reconsidered, with Anakin himself proving that love, when properly guided, can strengthen one's connection to the Force rather than corrupt it. Obi-Wan, having seen Anakin's struggles firsthand, supports these changes. He realizes that rigid rules pushed Jedi like Count Dooku away and made Anakin feel isolated. A balance between discipline and personal freedom is needed. With the Council's approval, younglings are now trained to understand their emotions rather than ignore them. Padawans are encouraged to speak openly about their feelings rather than fear reprimand. Jedi Masters, including Anakin, introduce new teachings that allow Jedi to experience life more fully while remaining dedicated to their duty. The change is not easy. Some older Masters resist, believing this will lead to disaster. But as time passes, the Order grows stronger. Jedi no longer fear the lure of the dark side simply because they love, grieve, or form bonds. They learn to face these emotions head-on, gaining mastery over themselves in ways never seen before. For Anakin, this is a personal victory. No longer torn between his duty and his heart, he finds peace within himself. And with the Jedi Order evolving, a brighter future begins to take shape. The Jedi Temple was on high alert. Reports had surfaced that Supreme Chancellor Palpatine was, in fact, the Sith Lord they had been searching for. Anakin Skywalker, now a Jedi Master, stood beside Mace Windu as they prepared to arrest the Chancellor. Unlike in the original timeline, the Council had placed their full trust in Anakin. He did not hesitate. He did not waver. When they entered Palpatine's office, the Sith Lord attempted to resist, but Anakin, standing firm, did not allow doubt to cloud his mind. With his help, Mace Windu overpowered Palpatine. The Sith Lord's lightning crackled through the room, but this time, Anakin did not interfere. With a final strike, Palpatine was defeated. The Dark Lord's grip on the Republic was broken, but there was still one problem. The clone army. The Jedi knew that the clones had been essential in the war, but Anakin, now with full trust from the Council, revealed something deeply troubling. He had sensed a hidden danger within the clones, a darkness buried within their minds. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi who suggested a deeper investigation. With the help of Jedi Masters Yoda and Shakti, they uncovered the true horror biochips implanted in every clone trooper, designed to make them turn against the Jedi at a single command. A command that would have come from Palpatine himself. Acting quickly, Anakin and the Jedi Council worked alongside Captain Rex and ARC Trooper 5s to spread the truth. The Kaminoans had hidden the chips well, but now, with their secret exposed, the Jedi used their influence to order a mass medical operation. Clone troopers across the galaxy were freed from their programming. When the command for Order 66 was finally issued, nothing happened. The clones, no longer under Palpatine's control, did not turn on their Jedi generals. Instead, they stood beside them, confused but unharmed. The great purge of the Jedi never came to pass. Instead of being slaughtered, Jedi Masters and Padawans remained alive, ready to rebuild. The Republic, though shaken by war, stood strong. And Anakin Skywalker, no longer a pawn of fate, had helped save the Jedi Order from its greatest betrayal. Anakin Skywalker stood before the Jedi Council, his heart pounding. He had just been granted the rank of Jedi Master, a title he once feared would be out of his reach. But now, he felt something even greater, a newfound trust from the Council. No longer burdened by secrecy, he took a deep breath and prepared for the words that had weighed on him for so long. "I need to tell you something," Anakin said, his voice steady. "I am married to Padmé Amidala." A silence fell over the room. The Jedi Masters exchanged glances, their expressions unreadable. Anakin braced himself for their disappointment. But instead, Mace Windu gave a slow nod. "We suspected as much," Windu admitted. "But now you are speaking your truth." Obi-Wan Kenobi, standing nearby, took a step forward. There was no anger in his eyes-only understanding. "Padmé is a good woman, Anakin," he said. "She has fought for the Republic as fiercely as any Jedi. The old ways forbid attachment, but perhaps it is time to reconsider." Yoda closed his eyes in deep thought. "Attachment, dangerous it can be, but love, powerful it is. Strength it can bring." For the first time, Anakin felt a wave of relief wash over him. The Council was not condemning him, they were listening. With his secret now in the open, Anakin returned to Padmé's apartment that evening, his heart lighter than it had been in years. When he told her what had happened, she gasped, her eyes wide with disbelief. "They accepted it?" Padmé whispered. "They didn't cast you out?" Anakin took her hands in his, smiling. "No, things are changing. We don't have to hide anymore." Tears welled in Padmé's eyes, but they were tears of joy. She embraced him, holding him as if afraid he would disappear. "Then we can finally be together. Truly together." The news spread across the Republic quickly. Senators and Jedi alike reacted with mixed emotions, but most saw it as a sign of a new era. For Anakin, this was not just about love. It was about breaking the chains of old traditions that had caused so much suffering. It was about hope. Luke and Leia were not hidden away on distant planets. Instead, they were raised within the Jedi Order, their presence shaping the future of the galaxy. Anakin, now a Jedi Master, ensured that his children would be guided by the Force, but not bound by the rigid traditions that had once held him back. He was determined to be the father he never had, offering them both wisdom and freedom. From an early age, Luke and Leia demonstrated a strong connection to the Force. Masters within the Jedi Temple watched in awe as their potential grew. Unlike the Jedi of old, Anakin believed in embracing emotions rather than suppressing them. He taught his children that love, compassion, and attachment were not weaknesses, but strengths. Yoda, though hesitant at first, saw the wisdom in this new way and guided them alongside Anakin and Obi-Wan. Leia excelled in diplomacy and combat, blending Padmé's leadership skills with Anakin's formidable fighting abilities. She learned to use the Force, not just for battle, but to inspire others, ensuring that peace remained strong within the Republic. The Jedi trained her in lightsaber combat, and she quickly became one of the most skilled duelists of her generation. She could sense emotions clearly, using her abilities to mediate conflicts before they escalated. Luke, on the other hand, was drawn more to adventure and discovery. He had an insatiable curiosity about the Force, always seeking to understand its deeper mysteries. He trained under Yoda and Obi-Wan, learning techniques that had been lost to time. His bond with his father was strong, and Anakin made sure to guide him carefully, preventing the temptations of the DarkSide that had once plagued him. With the Sith destroyed and the Jedi reformed, Luke and Leia never knew the pain of war as their father had. Instead, they grew up in a time of balance, where the Jedi Order stood stronger than ever. The mistakes of the past were not repeated, and the new generation of Jedi carried hope instead of fear. The Skywalker twins became the future of the Jedi, ushering in an era where the Force was truly in balance.